Okay. I might have to park in a different spot if I can't get these ramps down. I didn't want to drive all the way back there because there's not a good spot to turn around. So I was just going to track back there, but I also didn't want to block the driveway. Will these ramps go down? Oh, we're good. We're good. So anyhow, obviously, borrowed the boss's Bobcat. There's times where I think it would be handy to have my own skid steer, and then I have to fix this one at work, and it's like, nah, I don't need a skid steer that bad. As long as I got one that I can borrow every once in a while when I need it, we're good. So don't mind how I got this front tied down. All of his chains have this big snatch hook on one side, and it makes it really hard to do anything. I was driving further, I had to have done something different, but for the short little distance that I have to go, and I don't drive overly fast with this trailer because the skid steer's pushing her load limit. This is only a 10,000 pound trailer, and I can't remember how much this thing weighs, but it's getting up there as far as what this trailer's capable of handling. I really want to buy my own bumper pull this size, just because there are a lot of times where, I mean, the only trailer we got that's actually good for hauling equipment is the gooseneck. That little car trailer we got is too light of a load rating. About the only thing that it'll actually haul is my 66. So, well, it hauls 77. But those are really the only two. Anything else is too heavy. So, but I want to get I think this is a 20, or no, this isn't a 20. This is I think this is an 18. I think it's a 16 plus 2. I'd like to get like probably a 20 footer or a 24 footer, and I want a 14,000 pounder. Just so it's more handy. So anyhow, get unloaded here. Don't mind the hole in the floor either. That's just details. This is also another reason why I'd never buy a Bobcat, never ever. For one, their hydraulics are some of the cheapest on the market. Just ask Dad. He spent so much. He has to fix so much Bobcat shit. It's not even funny. Dad actually built the machine, or the line, that welds all the Bobcat cylinder tubes together. The place he used to work for before he went off on his own built the line. And that was one of Dad's deals. So, and as far as he knows, it's still the same line they're using, but all the Bobcat's welded cylinders, Dad built the line that welds all the tubes together and everything. But Bobcat uses the cheapest cylinders on the market. They're all their own design, but they're all terrible cylinders. They're cheap. They're not put together well. They're not designed well. For instance, the cylinder right here that's tied down to the boom, that's the cylinder for the bob attach that is supposed to be your automatic quick attach. There's a valve block down here in between the hydro and the engine that you can't, I mean, you can see it, but once you get one arm in there, you're doing it by a braille because you can't see it and work on it at the same time. But I've had to have that valve block off once already because the bob attach quit working. And luckily you can take the cylinder off and still use the manual handle, so you can still use it. But that valve block has 2 solenoids on it, and it's just a really simple aluminum body valve block. And apparently they are known for, once they get some age on them, they'll just the valve spools will start seizing up to where the solenoids can't move them anymore, and then your bob attach quits working. And there's no valve seat or any hardened seats or anything in them, so they're a non-serviceable valve, so you have to literally buy the entire valve block to fix the problem. And from everything that I've gathered on the internet when I was trying to fix it the first time, once they do it once, you can take it, clean it up, but it won't be but a couple hours and they'll just do it again, and they just keep doing it. So you gotta replace the whole valve block. You can't just replace parts, you gotta do the whole thing. That's just the way Bobcat designed it. Stupid. So anyway, there's my rant on Bobcat for the day. So we'll get tracked back there and see what kind of mess we can make. Oh yeah, we also had 3 3¾ inches of rain last night. Completely random. I didn't even know it was supposed to storm. I didn't even notice it. Shelly and I were sitting watching TV, and I noticed it about must have been about 10 o'clock. Thought I heard some thunder, and then I noticed some lightning. And I don't know how long it rained, but when I woke up, or I emptied the gauge yesterday from the 6/10 that we had, and this morning when I woke up, there's 3 3/4 in it. And apparently the further south you went, the heavier it got, because I had a picture today from a friend down in between New Carlisle and LaPorte. Can't even tell you how much they got, because his gauge only went to 6 inches and it was overflowing. So they got north of 6 somewhere. So all the low spots got water standing in them right now, so I'm curious to see how much water's standing in this pond back here. Tell you what, this is a chore. A, the side's so thick it's damn near impossible to cut through. B, between it being wet and thick, you can't hardly grade it out. I mean, it's not, you can kind of grade it out, it'd probably be easier if it was dry. And there's so many holes, you don't know where to go with the dirt. goes up. Look how deep them roots are in there. I mean, you're down almost a foot below the top of the pile, and you got to try to cut through all that stuff. right, that pretty much wraps that job up. This dirt pile was a lot bigger than I thought it'd be, which is a good thing because I used all of it. I kind of, I guess, rounded the edge of the pond here. I filled in this big hole here that I hit with the 16, or fell in with the 1600. This was all standing full of water right here, so I dumped, there's probably a foot of dirt in here. There was kind of a wet marshy spot right there with cattails growing in it. I got some dirt dumped in there. It ain't perfect, but until I can actually get this field worked so that we can actually see what our problem areas are. But luckily, the holes I started filling in first, they're drying up already. Because there was a trench here and a hill or a mound here, so I pushed all that into the trench. There was a bunch of holes in here. I don't know how much good I actually did. That hole, or that dirt pile there, I couldn't really get because the ground was too soft, although it looks like it dried up a little bit, so I might try to come over here while I still got the skid steer and move that around a little bit, try to level it off some. Basically what I'm going to have to do, it's too wet to do anything else over here today. It ain't like I'm going to be able to do any groundwork, but what I'm going to have to do before I plow it is bring the disc over here, and anywhere where I put dirt, because of all the, I mean, the side balls out here are massive. In order to be able to plow this without plugging the plow, I'm gonna have to come out here and disc the crap out of it wherever I put dirt to bust up the side chunks, because loose side, all that's gonna do trying to moldboard is get stuck in between the coulter and the moldboard and plug the plow up. And then what I had left of the pile, I hauled all down here, and there's probably 12-16 inches of dirt here to build this up, because this was all standing full of water out to there. So shouldn't be too bad once it gets all dried up, get it worked down. And honestly, I think most of the water standing up here has more to do with compaction than, well, the fact that there's holes and the fact that we just had 3.5 inches of rain, and then the fact that everything up here is probably compacted. So you get it busted up and get it to where the water can drain. This up here will probably be just fine, and it'll just be this pond down here, which, if you, I think you should dig it out. I think it'd look kind of neat, but anyhow, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna, now that I'm looking at it, it's a little high, I'm gonna try to knock this, or knock these humps off real quick right here, and we can load the skid steer up and see what other kind of trouble I get into today. At least I need to take it over to mom and dad's, the fuel tank, fill it up with diesel before I take it back. And I don't know how bad the tracks are. They look kind of rough. They look kind of muddy from here. Yeah, they're a little rough. Well, I got some water in the nurse tank. I might see if I can blow some of that mud off of there. I should have brought a shovel with me, but I honestly wasn't expecting it to be this wet over here. Yeah, we need to clean some of that mud off of there. Well, it's not by no means perfect, but I tell you what, the nurse tank ain't too bad for cleaning the tracks off on this thing. About the only thing I couldn't get was everything behind the final drive, but that was all packed full of manure when I picked it up anyhow, so you weren't going to get that out because it was dry. I think what I want to do, because I've thought about, it'd be nice for rinsing stuff off, like out in the field or something if need be, whatever. But what I need to do is get some fittings for that thing so that I can neck the hose down and put a nozzle on it, and basically just make something, or get some fittings that'll plug into the hose and get like a 1-inch nipple and neck it down from 2-inch to 1-inch or inch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's 2-inch hose. Either way, just neck it down to get the pressure up. Ooh. I think it's gonna be the last year on these tires. That's the last thing you want to be moving down the road at 30 miles an hour with a full load of fertilizer and have one of them things blow out on you. But anyway, I'm gonna run this thing back to Boss Man and go from there. Okay, I got a little sidetracked. So where to start? So this is an original International Cub Cadet #2 dump cart. We'll get to that in a minute. I know it's original because my boss's dad bought it brand new, and it's just been sitting down in their hog lot, and it was full of crap. Shoveled all the crap out of it into a trash can so I could move it because it was too damn heavy and it was standing full of water. Luckily I can't see any holes like it's rusted through. I'll know more when it dries up. But like I say, it's been sitting down in their hog lot. It had a easy vac, old lawn vac system on it at some point. But I wanted something to put behind that little Moline 112 when we take it down to Rantoul. And I was like, well, if you're gonna have a vintage garden tractor down there, you might as well have a vintage dump cart to go with it, even though it's not a Jacobson or Moline or anything like that. I'm not racist. I'll have an International dump cart. I don't care. And I've been bugging my boss's dad about it. Say, hey, you want to get rid of that dump cart? It's just sitting there. And he finally caved and he said, just take it, throw it in your truck. I was gonna pay him for it, but he said, just take it. Forget I ever said anything about it. So here we sit. I picked this up after when I was dropping the skid steer back off up there. So it's got the original wheelbarrow tires on it. I don't know if they'll take air or not, so I was gonna try that real quick, and then we'll cut these vac sides off of it so that we can get a better look at it. And see what there is to see. It does look like it has been repainted here. It looks like he brush painted it, or part of it. Luckily he went around the decal. Where's the end of my hose? So hopefully it's flaking off already. So hopefully if I power wash it, the rest of it will come off with a power washer. Would be handy. It needs power wash anyway to get all the moss fuzz off of it. But you can maybe, yeah, you can see that paint flaking off and then the original white underneath it. So let's see if these old things will take air. This one I doubt, because it's tubeless. I bet there's no way. Yeah, she's got a bead leak. That's unfortunate. Even if it didn't have a bead leak, that tire's pretty rough, so we'll probably have to put some tires on it. Well, that sucks. I kind of expected it. What about the other side? One tire makes it a little easier to move than no tires. This one's got a tube in it. Maybe. Well, that one will hold air. Yeah, that one holds air just fine for the time being. Maybe for now I'll just see if I can put a tube in this one. I don't know, that's pretty rough. What are these? 430 by 8 wheelbarrow. I might just, I mean, for all it is, I bet a regular, I mean, new wheelbarrow tires are cheap, but they look right on it because they still use the same rib pattern. That might be what happens. I might just buy some cheap wheelbarrow tires to put on it and call it good. So let me grab a grinder real quick because I'm not even going to attempt to take these bolts off nicely. There, it looks 10 times better already. The only thing, oh, I see how that works. They got this wire tied on here to keep the, there's supposed to be a, I'm guessing, supposed to be a spring between that hole and that hole to keep the latch down. So, yeah, get some tires on it and give it a bath, and I think it'll be just fine for this year. I hate to actually like redo it because it's still got the original decals. The thing I could have swore, and I'm sure a Cub Cadet guy will know, I thought IH put serial number tags on these things, and if they did, heck if I can find them. But I know it's an international number 2 because my boss's dad, I can't remember if he bought it brand new or if they threw this in the deal when he bought his, he bought a it was a 656 gas and a 3-bottom 510, I think, plow, brand new. And I don't know if they threw this in with the deal, but either way, he's had it since it was new. So I mean, I know it's original, but I can't find it. I could have swore that they put a tag on the front corner here somewhere, and I can't find a tag. But maybe they didn't put a tag on them. But I mean, it's for sure an original Cub Cadet IH number 2 long cart, dump cart, whatever you want to call it. So I like the little stake pockets here. I should see if Granddad's the woodworker in the family. I should see if he'll make me some little stake sides for it, just to make it look cool. But I think I think it's going to look just fine behind that 112. The patina kind of matches for the time being, and I wish he hadn't red oxide painted the inside of the box, but I'm guessing it was rusty from carrying leaves all them years. So I'm just glad that other than having some dents here in the front, which shouldn't be that hard to straighten out, I'm surprised that the box itself isn't rusted out for sitting full of water like it was. You can see the water line on it. So good dealio. Now for that thing, Lily. Lily, what are you doing? Yeah, I know. You're jealous. So this is Lily. She's our trial. I think we're probably gonna end up keeping her, but she is a 5-month-old purebred miniature Australian Shepherd. She's AKC registered. She came with the paperwork, the whole 9 yards. I mean, she's a recognized purebred miniature Aussie. She came out of Chicago. Shelly's sister, younger sister, is she's a highly functioning autistic. I mean, I didn't know until they told me. If you just talk to her, you'd never know. But she's always had smaller dogs around as kind of a, I don't know if you'd call it like a therapy thing or whatever, but she's always had Chihuahuas because she likes small dogs. and her last Chihuahua died not that long ago. And she found that she found Lily there on Facebook Marketplace in Chicago for $400, which, from what I've been told, a pure blood miniature Aussie with paperwork is like a $1,400-$1,500 dog. So her and her friend went over a few weeks ago to Chicago and gave $400 and brought her home. And she found out that even though she's a miniature Aussie, she's still probably gonna get about the size of Teeter. Decided she didn't want the dog. And Shelly's mom, between her cancer and having to take care of her son's kids and the whole 9 yards, has enough going on. And it's not that she didn't want to keep her, it's just that she's got a lot going on right now. So we are trialing her for a week and see how things go. I mean, her and Teeter get along good, so I think we're gonna end up keeping her. She's a good dog. She's already house trained for the most part. She did have an accident this morning, but she's on a schedule from staying at Shelly's mom's place, and apparently her stepdad goes to work at 6 every morning, and she's used to going out at 6. And this morning she had an accident in the house because I didn't get up at 6. So, but I can't fault her for that. She's on a different schedule. She has to get set up to, and during the week it'll be fine because I get up at 6 to go to work, so she can go out and go potty like normal. But she follows Teeter really good, and she doesn't really leave the yard. And what do you got in your mouth? She minds you for the most part. I mean, she's pretty much trained already. So we shall see. You're probably gonna be seeing her around a little bit if we choose to keep her. We just got to get over Teeter's jealousy bone, because she's got a big jealousy bone. Don't you, girl? Yeah, don't ya? Yeah, you big jelly. You big jelly. So, we've moved some dirt. We've got an international dump cart. We've got a new dog. I guess last thing I want to get done today in this video is we're going to see if I can get this ATV sprayer up and going so that I can use it tomorrow. First things first, I should see if this thing will even start, because I honestly can't remember last time I had it running. Light comes on. Oh, I'll be danged. Look at that. She's just a cold-blooded thing. Must be a red thing. I'm looking at you. I mean, when I tell you this thing's brand new, I mean, the hose hasn't even been on it yet. It's just, hopefully it works. I don't know how long it's been sitting. I've never even heard of the manufacturer. Probably some Chinese crap, but freeze free, I guess. So, oh, one of the clamps got smashed. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me grab probably a couple ratchet straps out of the truck. I had a bunch more of these, and I don't know where any of them went. Actually, I probably broke most of them because they were cheap. But anyhow. Okay, so the one thing I was noticing on this as I was looking it over that I don't like is there's no switch. You have clamps on the battery and a fuse holder, and that's it. You don't have, short from unplugging it and plugging it in there, you don't have any you don't have any way to turn it on and off without unhooking it from the battery. So I'm gonna have to get a rocker switch or something so that I can, oh yeah, except this isn't like mom and dad's. My battery's not under the seat. My battery is back here behind the wheel. So we're gonna do this. Bear with me here. Come on, you bugger. Okay, there's that. And then, just for testing purposes, I'm not going to leave it hooked up. We'll put you there, and then this technically should make it run. Oh yeah. It's stupid that they didn't put an inline switch in it, so like I say, that's something I'm going to have to fix. Or not necessarily fix, but you know, put one on it. That way you can work it from the seat, and then I can take the seat off and put the wire through there just to get it up out of the way. But for now, I'm just gonna, for now, I will just wind it up and get it out of the way. And then I need to put the hose on, which I'm guessing there was one of these clamps came with it and it's long gone, but I think I got some clamps in my shed. Okay, we go out to dinner tonight. I'll grab a switch for that so you can run it from the seat without having to unhook it from the battery. That's stupid. I don't know any other one of these I've ever seen has an inline rocker switch you can turn it on and off with. But get a switch and get some chemical, preferably some sort of just general vegetation killer, like kill everything dead kind of thing, and we'll be good to go. So pretty much covers everything I wanted to get done today. So I guess with that being said, that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one. I don't know if I'm going to do a video tomorrow or not, because I think tomorrow all I'm going to do is do some spraying and probably get the yard mowed, because it needs mowed. So yeah, I am going to make a video tomorrow. There's something else I'm going to do, but we'll worry about that when the time comes. So anyway, that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.